Morning. Morning, people. um, how we doing? It's Thursday, November 16th. Wow. Thursday, November 16th. We're halfway through November already. That's fun. Let's break down what we got going on here before we take a look at these markets and what's setting up as to what might be the start of a pullback, people. So, first and foremost, as you all may know, we've got a Black Friday deal that is now up at TRADEPRO Academy. It's on the website. Y'all can go and check that out at $49 for the first month at TRADEPRO Academy, which includes a live trading room, Discord, right? Options room as well. So go and check that out, right? It's 77% off what we currently have. I want everyone to experience what we do live in front of y'all every day. I'm doing a smaller account right now. We got a few trades on right now, pre-market. Let's grow this thing together. So if you want more info on that, drop some comments down below. We'll be running that into the beginning of December, where we're going to be breaking down a live psychology course, right? A new psychology course that could help you transform your way of viewing the markets, trading psychology into the new year and forever. So I hope to see you all there. It's an offer that makes a lot of sense. So let's talk about what we got in terms of news today before we jump into the markets. Little China recap, right? The highly anticipated meeting between President Biden and the Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping ended with agreements to open high-level dialogue, while Xi called on Biden to lift unilateral sanctions and provide a non-discriminatory environment for Chinese companies. Other issues went unresolved and tensions were apparent as Xi met with American business executives Wednesday evening. Biden highlighted the difference between the two economic systems during the press conference, repeating comments from earlier this year that described Xi as a quote-unquote dictator. So despite a downdraw spiral in relations, right, a lot of investors, analysts, and alike also are looking into this to see how it may affect markets. So right now, necessarily not crazy news out of anything that's non-material, realistically. That's what a lot of people are looking for. So let's talk a little more about the economic data before we jump into what we have here as the markets pulled back slightly yesterday. Economic data, right? It's been the main component of this week's movement. We had CPI, retail sales, PPI, right? You name it. We had retail sales that dropped 0.1% month over month compared to the consensus of a fall of 0.3%, further exciting investors hoping for resilience in consumer spending without attracting too much attention from the Fed. So if things get too hot, hawkish rhetoric could weigh on markets yet again, but in the meantime, it looks like things are in a sweet spot for a soft landing. We'll see how that goes, right? Usually these narratives aren't that prolific, if you know what I mean. So in terms of the big picture, inflationary price tags, high interest rates, and the return of student loan payments were thought to prompt many Americans to hold back on opening their wallets, but that doesn't seem to be the case necessarily. A strong labor market has helped keep spending afloat across the economy, with new revisions even showing that the blowout retail reports from the summer were even better than initially estimated. Those trends are expected to continue with Black Friday only a week away next Friday, and also, right, a traditional holiday spending spree. Not to mention we have Thanksgiving next week. Markets are closed on Thursday, half day on Friday, so week is cut short to 3 trading days, 3 tradable days next week. So on the sell side, some companies are handling their financials better than others, with a focus on cost controls, inventory management, and margin improvements that make all the difference in the current market environments, especially with Wall Street expecting a whole lot worse, right? We had HD, so Home Depot, TJX, Walmart, Macy's all beat top and bottom line this week. Target really smashed it out of the park. As we've seen that Target earnings and these retail earnings had slipped up constantly over the last few quarters based on theft and whatnot. Target shares up about 18% during the session on Wednesday, following 2 years of disappointing results stemming from C-suite missteps and misreading consumer sentiment. So, on the positive side, GDP, employment, and overall consumer spending have been resilient, and we're beginning to see a recovery in consumer confidence. This is what Target CFO Michael Fidelki said on the earnings call. But on the other side of the ledger, while we're happy to see inflation rates begin to moderate, that's likely to cause some near-term pressure on the dollar comps in our frequency category. And in addition, the upcoming resumption of student loan repayments will put additional pressure on the already strained budgets of tens of millions of households. And against this backdrop, we remain cautious in our planning on approach that has served us really well so far this year. So, let me see here. I wanted to open up TradingView to see. TradingView also probably has like a Black Friday save, like 1,000,000,000% off. But TradingView to take a look at these retail names because they were getting battered pretty aggressively with that overall sector not doing so hot recently. But it looks like we have a plethora of news this morning. The initial jobless claims kind of saved my long position into those lows. We had the Philly Fed business outlook, right? Import and export prices. Fed's messer on financial stability in times of macroeconomic uncertainty at 8:30 a.m., so it's ongoing right now. Fed's Williams speech starts in about 20 minutes or so. The housing market index at 10, Fed's Waller at 10:30, EIA natural gas 10:30, Fed's bar at 10:35, Kansas City Fed manufacturing survey at 11. Oh my God, what's going on? Fed's Mester at 12, Fed's Cook at 12, and it seems like the day is just riddled with Fed speakers today. So it could be a very interesting overall move. Realistically, on the trading session, I'd be a little more cautious, but I do want to take a look at these retail stocks as this thing loads. Yeah, I get it. You're old and tired. Just load, please. So I do want to see Target. Some people are also looking to short tech, right? I think that a lot of this tech is kind of getting overbought right now, and there is the potential to see some kind of downside in tech. So HD earnings did pretty well. But tech, right? Names like Apple, Microsoft are reaching into some kind of resistance that a lot of people are looking to sell into. I'd be very cautious trying to pick a top on this, but let's take a look at what the overall market looks like. Generally speaking, we're still in a distribution block here between the low 4,500 area and the 4,535 area, key area that I noted yesterday. As long as we hold 4,500, 4,503, right, I think that these buyers can step in. The 10.8 has held a lot overnight. Any offer under that 4,500, 4,498, honestly, I could see a 20, 30 point move to the downside realistically. So I can see that the sellers are a little more in control as of yesterday as well. So into the 20, 26, 27, 28, into that region, those two regions on the S&P 100 E-mini futures, I do want to see if some sell side can open this thing up to start cracking some of these lows to initiate somewhat of a pullback before we start ripping this thing again, right? Thursdays, they got their chance before those Friday buyers come in and step this thing back up. So I'm going to be looking to see, we're still in the distribution, so technically we're still bullish on this move. But as long as the supports hold, that's great. But we got those resistances coming up into that mid to high 20, which I am curious to see if sellers want to open up new positions to see if we can break the bottom end of that distribution. We haven't tested that 4,500 since Tuesday, where we had a plethora of net buying. So it's going to be a pretty hard position area to break under. But I want to see if some of the bears can come out today, right? They came out a little yesterday. I want to see if that continuation sustains a little more on today's session to get a pullback for the buyers to step into. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. I hope you all do well. Happy trading, happy Thursday, happy weekend. Check out that Black Friday deal at